In Jacksonville, a sheriff's officer is frantically searching for two lost toddlers after a neighbor saw one of the kids fall into their apartment complex's pond. The officer sprints to the water's edge, but there's no sign of the caller or the child. Then she spots the concerned neighbor and huffs it in her direction.
Where's the baby? Where? Where? He's somewhere over there. Where's he at?
One of the toddlers is safe on land, but to much of the officer's horror, the second one is underwater. Without hesitating, the officer and the toddler's babysitter jump into the pond. But as if this situation weren't terrifying enough, there's more danger at play, because this officer can't swim. The officer dives underwater with no concern of drowning herself. Desperately searching the murky waters, suddenly she bumps into the toddler's arm and quickly pulls him to the surface. She passes him to his babysitter, who is also in the water, and starts struggling back to shore herself. She makes it to shallow waters, but the crisis is far from over. A neighbor now has the child, but after being underwater for more than a minute, the little boy is completely motionless. After having just nearly drowned herself, the officer doesn't miss a beat and starts giving the toddler CPR. Finally, paramedics arrive and are able to take over the emergency.
You pop her back?
Yes, I did.
The child is rushed to a nearby hospital where he is stabilized.
I'm getting.
The officer is later given honors from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office for her bravery, and the toddler goes on to make a full recovery, all thanks to the watchful eye of the neighbor who called for help, and this officer who puts herself in harm's way.
I'm getting him.
It's a quiet afternoon in a subdivision of Las Vegas. This homeowner and her neighbors have just noticed a dog walking off leash in the street.
I got him.
She calls the wandering pit bull over, and he seems friendly enough.
It's not mine.
Her smaller dog, named Max, comes out to say hello with a customary dog butt sniff. Without warning, the pit bull snaps and tries to bite down on Max. The homeowner desperately tries to keep Max out of the pit bull's jaws, even putting herself at risk of being bitten. Max is less than half the attacking dog's size. A single bite could prove to be fatal. Suddenly, a hero appears.
Get back! Get in the house. Go in the house. No!
A package delivery driver puts herself between the attacker and its victims, giving them an opening to run safely inside.
No!
Thanks to this delivery driver, Max and his owner escape with only minor cuts and scratches, proving that not all friendly neighborhood heroes wear capes. Some wear delivery vests.
You're a bad dog!
We're in Orlando, Florida. A man staggers to his neighbor's door, gasping for breath. He's middle school teacher Billy Bass, alone working from home, and he needs help fast.
I thought to myself, my only hope is to run to my neighbors.
Billy's neighbor and friend of 14 years is Karen Aranda. Luckily, she's at home with her family.
I've known Karen and Junior for just a long time. Kids went to school together.
We were sitting around the table and we heard this pounding knock on the door. It was actually scary. And when I opened the door and I saw Billy's face, immediately I knew that there was something wrong with him.
Okay, Billy. You're talking?
It was just like an instinct. I turned him around. I wrapped my arms around him. When I pushed into his stomach the first time, nothing happened.
I know I only had a few seconds left. I'm gonna die.
So So I squeezed them for the second time.
Did it come out? Yeah, it came out. It came out.
And a big old piece of meat. I mean, it was a good size of meat. It flew out like a cork out of a bottle, about 3 or 4 feet in the grass.
Get water. Bring water. Hey! Call 911. No? I get ready to.
Karen has cleared the blockage by performing abdominal thrusts, also known as a Heimlich maneuver.
The relief of just having air is something you take for granted. Like I could breathe.
My son said, oh, it came out. And then he turned around. I knew that he was okay. Like his blood started flowing and he started breathing.
You saved my life. Oh my God, Billy. Boy.
We hugged each other and I was just like very, very emotional because I couldn't imagine what could have happened if I wouldn't have opened the door.
Oh, you saved my life. Oh my God.
At that moment, you think, wow, I could have died. Somebody that was trained in CPR, first aid, makes all the difference in the world. Curly, the Latina Wonder Woman, she was so strong.
I'm in the dental field. I'm an office manager, and you have to be CPR certified.
Tender meat. Holy damn.
After his ordeal, Billy resolves to take a first aid course himself.
I am YMCA certified trained now. I want to make sure that I'm prepared as well to help my neighbor.
And it's made the neighbors even better friends as they promote first aid awareness together.
I borrowed beer from her before, I borrowed tools, but this time she saved my life. So it was the ultimate, neighbor, gratitude. She's my angel.
We're in Miami, Florida. It's 1 a.m., and at a downtown apartment complex, security cameras record a man wandering around the parking lot. He's carrying what looks like a gas can. One of the building's tenants, Miguel Quintero, is outside getting some air. He doesn't recognize the man.
Living there 5 years, I did know every single one of the neighbors. He walked by and I just knew something was up.
The stranger walks off, but minutes later, he's back. This time outside the door of an apartment. He unscrews his can, pours the contents on the doormat, and then sets it alight, and then runs away. Inside the apartment asleep is Susie Rios and her 2 young granddaughters, who she's babysitting for the night.
I'm one of those people that when I go to sleep, I hear nothing.
As Susie's door starts to burn, it triggers the smoke alarm.
I never even thought it was the fire alarm. As I'm walking down the stairs, all of a sudden I see the downstairs full of smoke. There was no rear exit. So my thoughts were, okay, what do I do? How do I get the girls out? I mean, it was just like all hell literally broke loose. God willing, there's a neighbor out there, someone's out there.
Susie's prayers are answered. Her neighbor Miguel Quintero has seen the flames and rushes to her door.
My first thought is I have to pull this fire away enough from the door so that I can get to the door and bang on the door, ring the doorbell to wake everybody in that unit up. And then my next thought was, of course, let's go get him.
Incredibly, having just saved his neighbors, Miguel then chases down the arsonist.
He can hear my footsteps, and you see the fear in him when he hears me coming, because I'm coming in fast, and I'm a big locomotive coming towards him. So when he turns around, I see his eyes get real big, and he's just like, why? And from there is when I jump on top of him, and I know I'm not gonna hurt him too bad, but I'm definitely gonna do enough so that he knows he's not gonna go anywhere.
Miguel uses his college wrestling skills to restrain the man.
So I put his arm behind his back and, kept my arm around his neck. Not enough to choke him out, but enough to have control.
I finally get the door open, and Miguel starts screaming at me, call 911. He set the fire, call 911.
Get the fire, Tim.
Is it him?
Yep, hopefully.
Yeah, I did. It's on the way.
I think time slowed down for me. In that moment, it felt like forever for them to get there, but when I look back, it was within minutes. So they handcuffed him and then, took him away. And just kind of shook my hand and did a good job here. As far as a weapon, I didn't think about it. I just knew I wanted to get him and bring him to justice.
No motive was ever given for his actions, but 23-year-old Luis Menendez was charged with arson and attempted murder. He was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years. Ever since the terrifying incident, Susie and her family can't thank their Good Samaritan neighbor enough.
My first reaction was that I need to have a statue erected to Miguel. I need to have a halo placed on his head. He was our godsend. He is our angel. And I look back on the footage, I'm just like amazed that we're here. I'm here. Most importantly, that my 2 baby granddaughters are here.
There's nothing in this world that could repay him for what he did for me and my family. Sorry, just give me a second. There's not enough words to say thank you, really.
I want to be a good neighbor. I want to know my neighbors, and I want them to know, as different as we are, because God, we are different. We want the same things.
You never know when you're going to need each other. They could need you, you could need them.
And I just want them to know who I am and that I got their backs. And what's great is, I know they have my back.
Clanton is about an hour south of Birmingham in rural Alabama, and it's where Jason Abraham has lived his entire life.
Rural life is really unique. You may have to yell very loudly, or in some cases, you might actually have to drive for your neighbor to hear you. But all the neighbors here love to help each other out.
One day, as Jason is driving his work truck, he comes upon an unusual sighting.
I was driving about 4 to 4.5 miles from my house.
As Jason is driving through the neighborhood, he sees a small puppy run into the middle of the road, and there's no adult in sight.
I'm an animal lover. That's probably a big reason why I turned around to save the dog. But as I pull up, I see this child that approximately 13, 14 months old. And she was just hysterically crying. It was odd to see an unattended child that close to the roadside. As I walked towards her, the dog was going crazy. She held her arms up, and the dog pushed me towards her, and I put her in my arms. And it was at that moment that I realized I don't know what to do. I decided the proper thing to do would be to call the police, but I did not have my cell phone on me. And that meant a trip back to this company's van, this creepy van with out-of-state plates. And I just knew someone was going to see me carrying this crying baby back to my van and probably attack me or try to shoot me. I did make it back to the van safely and made the phone call. During the time of waiting for the police, I saw a neighbor 2 houses down. I asked if she knew who lived at this house.
The woman immediately recognizes the child and leads them to the correct house.
Someone came out. They were hysterical. Little girl stretched her arms out, and I let her take the child from me. She had 2 children that she was looking after that day. She had just put them down for a nap, and she had fallen asleep. Her oldest child opened the door to go next door to see a relative, and that allowed the youngest child to crawl out. And it also allowed their family pet to follow her out. It was just a freak accident.
With the child safe at home, Jason posts the dashcam video online, and after more than 50 million views, he still refuses to take credit for the rescue.
I absolutely don't think of myself as a hero. To me, the real hero is that little dog. Had that dog not behaved the way that that dog did, I would have never been there to help.
And even though nobody is hurt during this incident, Jason still sees a lesson that can be learned from his experience with a very neighborly dog that day.
It's going to help remind parents and grandparents and babysitters to be a little extra diligent and lock that top lock on the door, because children can be escape artists.
It's an afternoon like any other in the sleepy coastal community of Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. Homeowner Michael Nicastro has known many days just like it.
I've lived here about 7 years, and, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. I'm very close with my neighbors that are right around me, and we all stick together and look out for each other.
But this seemingly idyllic slice of suburbia is not without its problems.
The neighbor down the street, he has these 3 large dogs that get loose all the time. They have bitten multiple people, at least 3 that I know of. They actually bit a kid, and the mother that tried to get him off of her child. Then they also bit a fireman in the leg. Cops have been there, but they really hadn't taken the dogs away or did anything about it as far as we know.
The dogs continue to be a nuisance around the neighborhood over the next year. Then one day, things take a turn for the worst.
We got back from the store, we heard some screaming on the other block. That's when we went around to see what was going on and seen the dogs biting a lady.
3 giant pit bulls around the back.
We went back home to get out of their way. And as we were there at the house, that's when I realized it was about the time when my neighbor was going to come to the house to get her granddaughter off the bus. So I went over when I seen her car to warn her about it.
See, like 4 people get bit already.
And that's when all of a sudden I turned around and dogs were running across the yard at us.
The pit bull's irresponsible owner is nowhere in sight, and his dogs seem totally untrained. Surrounded and outnumbered, Michael swings a piece of pipe to hold them off.
The adrenaline was kicking in, my heart was racing, and I was just doing my best to keep them away from me. I've owned many dogs. I love dogs. But these dogs were the most aggressive dogs I ever encountered in my life. I didn't want her to get bit, so I just tried to hold them off the best I could until she can get in the house. I think it was only 25 seconds. And at the time, the police had pulled up, and as they pulled up, the dogs turned and ran that way.
Law enforcement are finally able to gain control of the dogs and get everyone in the neighborhood inside to safety.
The animal rescue showed up. They got him into a van and took him away. I don't know where the dogs are now, but the owner had just received a sentence of 30 days in jail and a $1,000 fine.
In total, 5 people in the neighborhood were bitten that day. But thanks to Michael's actions, there wasn't a 6th.
My immediate neighbors, we all get along, we're like family. We are always together all weekend long. A lot of people are saying I was basically a hero, but I don't look at it like that. We always watch out for each other.
It's early evening in Seattle, Washington. And this flannel-wearing man is out for more than just a neighborhood stroll. He's casing houses. The stranger checks a back door, but it's locked. So he heads around the corner to look for another way into the house. But what he doesn't realize is that the homeowner, a member of the United States Marine Corps, has been watching the camera feed all along and is now silently following him. The intruder heads for the front door, leaving himself trapped in a corner for the Marine to make his move. Just out of the camera's view, the homeowner has wrapped his arms around the intruder, and the two are struggling at the front door. They come tumbling down the steps. Tussling on the ground, the intruder quickly discovers that he's no match for the hand-to-hand combat training of a Marine. Meanwhile, the homeowner's wife is already on the phone with police. After an intense struggle, the intruder accepts his fate and stops resisting. Having protected both his home and neighborhood, the Marine keeps the situation under control until officers arrive. It's important to note, law enforcement does not encourage homeowners to get in physical confrontations with intruders, even if they were trained by the Marines.